Oh, is it already?
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Surprise live. Or not really a surprise, I guess. We'll wait for folks to hop on, if anybody does. So. We're eating dried fruit. We've been adjusting our eating habits, and I've already lost 3 pounds. And there's my phone saying it's time to go live.
I've lost 49.
No. Bullshit. Or bull something. I shouldn't cuss on here. So we'll wait for some folks to hop on. What? Thank you. I love dried bananas. Honestly, that's one thing I'd like to do is dry more fruit. Oh, you talk about your new tree that you planted. Oh, we do have 2 people on. Say hello.
That doesn't, that's not us.
No, it doesn't count us because we're the ones live. We're going to talk about the plans for the winter garden, what's been going on with the summer garden, or nothing, or what hasn't been going on with the summer garden, and show off a cool present that we were sent from 2 family. So feel free to hop into the chat to let us know you're here. Hit that thumbs up because we like that. That makes us happy.
What do they say? Hit that thumbs up, that like, the subscription bell, leave a comment.
Do all the things.
Do all the things.
Do all the things. Oh, we got Brian Lewis. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. How are things going for you? I think last I talked to you, you were sick. You had something. And then we were watching some videos of you picking up the grains that were dropped on the side of the road by the grain mill place. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how are you? Yeah, we haven't been very active lately because real life, honestly, it gets hectic. Like for a while, what was it? A month you were on midnight shift?
Yeah.
It was more than, maybe a little more than a month. And that totally messed up our schedule. And then business has been busy and we've been busy trying to get a couple things done around here. I mean, a lot of stuff has happened. We just haven't recorded much of it. I do have one video that I'm trying to possibly put out. I've got some footage, so we'll see. Hey, Papa Z. So pick up the beans. That is such a cool thing. It makes me want to go around and see if there's any places around here that do that, but I honestly don't know. Or could be. It's such an interesting way to do it. And I would think that the grit that you get when you're scooping them up from the road could be beneficial to the chickens too, right?
Yeah, they just get grit they can get add.
Yeah. So even extra bonus, you get some grit. Yeah, I think it's weird how the whole illness has made things more busy in a weird way, in a not necessarily a good way. Like it's forced people to work harder, which I'm not afraid of hard work, but I don't like working harder for less money, if that makes sense. So Papa Z, can you mention on Marco? I think I already mentioned it, but just in case. Oh, there's Mama Z. Hi, Misty. Chickens love the little rocks that get picked up. Yeah. I wonder if Southern States over in Tawnytown does that somewhere. Are you giving me another? Yeah. Thank you. We're eating dried fruit. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about winter garden planning tonight. I've got some books I'm going to show you guys that we are using as a reference. Oh, okay. And so that's how they knew that we were going live, was from my marker earlier. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been live, so we don't always have something to talk about. And sometimes Sunday nights we're just tuckered out. Like this is the first day of our weekend. So if we're doing a lot of stuff, I mean, we're tired. So this is kind of secondary. I don't like feeling like I'm obligated to do this. You know?
This is fun though. We like doing it.
It is fun. We do like making videos and we like being live and talking with people, but if it starts to become a chore where you feel like I have to do this or I'm going to disappoint people, then and that interferes with real life, like homesteading stuff, then I don't like doing it. And Court's here also. If you can see him. There's Court. So he's hanging out with us tonight too. I'm hoping that, I don't know if Two Family will be on or not. We will actually be on Two Family for their Monday Night Live on the 28th. I see an ear now. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's so cute. So Donald and I will both be on that, which I'm excited about. They've invited me to do another Canva thing, I think, a tutorial. So I'll be doing that. And I probably they want me on monthly, I think, for that. So I'm going to think of different topics and things that I can show you guys how to do in Canva. Hey, Arkansas Woodcutter. I'm always happy when you hop on here. I'm on a time that you're not working. Fermented Homestead's here. She's one of our favorite channels too. Yeah, we had to switch it up again because once Donald was on midnight, we had to switch it to Saturdays because it was when he wasn't sleeping or at work. And then they just switched him again to
and my days off.
And his days off. So he's off on Sundays and Mondays now. And Sunday nights, because Monday nights are so busy with so many channels going live between Two Family, the Stivers. I know that Jess and Maya are probably still live right now, but I know they go live at 8 on Sundays, but this was the time we had available. We could have pushed it till 10, but we're usually so tired. So 9 it is. If we have a smaller crowd, that's fine.
And we don't want to deprive everyone.
Arkansas Woodcutter says you need to wash your hands.
Well,
I don't know. I think he probably saw
that
meme.
That meme.
It's true.
Wait, which one?
The one with the thin veil.
Like thin veil?
Poop jokes are pretty prominent in our household, so.
You're welcome.
I send him poop jokes all the time. Plumbers always need to wash their hands. Yeah. Yeah, he's actually, we got word for those that, I think I'm Facebook friends with everybody that's in here now, except maybe Brian. He's going to be getting some hazard pay for being essential and also having to work in human waste during the whole process of this summer. So it's not going to be a lot of money. I think it was like a $2 differential or something.
$2.50 an hour.
Yeah.
But it's not actually even being essential. It's literally just for working in human waste.
Oh, so.
Anybody who works in direct contact.
So you weren't essential to them?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, we got Keto Homestead with Jess. Yeah, we've been switching. We stopped doing keto because I was getting horrible leg cramps. Like, how would you describe them?
Horrible. That's how
like I would bawl. They were so, it was the one of the worst pains I've ever felt. So we're back to primal essentially. Like it's paleo but with fermented dairy and raw milk. So it's primal. But still a lot of the stuff we eat still keto-ish.
With nuts and
yeah. I mean I literally
Stratford.
You would think I was dying sometimes with some of these cramps. So
good.
I can't do it. What's funny is I do drink a lot of electrolytes. Like
make your own electrolyte juice.
Yeah, I even make my own electrolyte juice as like an extra, but for some reason my body does not do well with keto. So yeah, I have magnesium drops I've been putting in my drink too. I do it even with when I'm not doing keto just in case. Yeah. The leg cramps are so bad. I hate them. But honestly, I've lost 3 pounds doing paleo or primal this last week.
Getting into it.
It's not we haven't been consistent every day yet because we're still adjusting what we buy and getting rid of the stuff in the house that I don't want to go to waste. Because right now it's kind of a bad time to just waste food with everything. So we're just kind of eating up what we can, and then we'll be full primal-ish. I used to do magnesium lotion. I need to get some more. I actually really like that stuff. Keto wore lately. I'll have to check that out. We've got Orion's in here. Hi, Daniel. I did want to show you guys something that we were sent from Two Family Homestead. We're going to be on their live on the 28th for those that just jumped in. So they're going to interview us, but they also sent us this, which I thought was really cool. It's a, what do you call it? Microfiber? Mm-hmm. Microfiber with our logo. They did a really good job. So I don't know if you can tell, we kind of updated our logo a little bit. I added microbes because we do so much with microbes. And then I added rabbits because,
we have rabbits.
Well, we have rabbits. We're actually about to butcher rabbits. So I might film that. Although I kind of, like I filmed the last time when we butchered our meat chickens when did we butcher them? June. But honestly, I don't know. I don't want to get yelled at for killing pretty, like cute little bunnies. And I know somebody's going to do it. So I might just film the outer bits and not the actual butchering. Am I playing guitar later? I could go grab it. Weight loss is eat fewer calories than you burn. Yeah, that's kind of what we've been doing. Is I actually downloaded a new app that I'm trying out.
As I'm stuck in my face.
Well, yeah, today we didn't do good, so don't judge us on today. This new app I'm trying out is called FreshBit. I like it because it does a lot of tracking, and it's keto friendly if you want to do it. I just I'm going to try it out for like a daily log because he does not want to count calories. That's one thing that's very off-putting for him, but I like counting numbers. It's how I initially lost the first 100 pounds when I was losing weight. Is I was eating between like, it wasn't healthy, but I was doing between like 500 and 900 calories a day. That's not good. So we're not going to do that much. What else am I missing? Yeah. He said, I hadn't thought of that. He's glad we're getting a bonus for endangering Donald's life. Your life's something worth like $700 though. Just so you know.
Yeah. I know.
Okay. You guys have to see this real quick. Look at that face. It's so cute. What are you doing to my dog?
Something that he does not mind.
He really doesn't. He lets us mess with him so much. Hi, Patty from Tinker's Wife. Susan Gatti, hello, hello. Playing guitar later. I have to think if I can get my guitar, I might do that. So one of the things that we're thinking about doing is talking about winter harvest. I was looking at some of these books earlier. We've actually got a couple books that we're using as reference. I've actually never done a winter garden before. Make sure I get you in here. So this will be our first time. We know where we're going to put it. We've got the dirt to put there. I still have to get the row cover. I'm going to order that soon because I suspect everything's out of stock everywhere.
Oh, the prices are killing me right now.
Yeah, you were looking at timber earlier.
So 4x4 by 8 foot treated lumber went from $6 to $19 a piece.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
It's like more than triple the price.
Yeah.
Not triple.
It's triple.
It is a triple. Yeah, it is triple. So we're gonna have to get creative. And honestly, it's starting to worry me because I'm thinking about buying a shed and moving my office home because it's going to cost a little bit of money up front, but it's going to cost me less monthly. And then once it's paid off, I have all that money I saved from my office rental in downtown Gettysburg. I pay like $325 a month for my office. It comes with utilities. and my parking, and then another $100 from internet. So if I can save $400 and put it towards a shed here, that eventually I get that money. So we're looking at that. The Overworked Gardener, hello. So this is one book. 𝙎𝙾𝙄𝙇 is probably one of the big names when it comes to, actually both of the books I'm going to show you are by him, for winter gardening. He's up north. Where's he at exactly? Is it Michigan?
Oh, no.
I think he's up north somewhere. But it's a good reference material because the book that Donald's looking at, he has a nice chart in the back that helps you figure out what to plant and when. And right now we're in that prime time in zone 6.
Maine.
It was one of those M states where we can, you know, start planting stuff now. And then if we have a nice row cover, I think we're looking at doing, what did we say? The 20 by 8 row. It's only going to be 1 row.
I think so.
I don't know that we'll be able to do 2. I mean, we could do 2 over there.
Yeah, probably.
So maybe we'll try to do 2 rows, but all like winter vegetables. Spinach for the early fall or fall stuff. Chard. I love chard. So we're going to try that out. Even carrots. What I like about this one, let me show you all these real quick. So this is one of them, the 4 Seasons Harvest. It's a good reference. I know most of you probably already know these, but for those that don't, it has this cool chart in the back. Based on your zone, it tells you when to plant certain vegetables. It's kind of weird how he does it. So for us, our last frost date's usually around near the end of October.
Our first frost date.
Yeah, sorry, first frost date. So when I would pick the date that's closest to that, which would be October 20th, this last column here. You go 2 columns over, that's when you would plant in a cold frame. And then like 4 columns over is when you would plant in a row cover. So this is probably the column that I'm going to be using to figure out when I want to plant things like, for me, beans, I would plant between now and the 20th. So if we do that tomorrow, it's perfect timing. We could do beets. I mean, there's a lot of things that between now and December or now and November would be fine to plant. So lettuce, leeks, onions, potatoes, really? Radishes. We have updates to give you guys on how bad our garden did this year.
Or not.
Well, we'll give some. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit. So 𝙎𝙾𝙄𝙇, 4 Seasons Harvest, the Winter Harvest Handbook, also by 𝙎𝙾𝙄𝙇, another good reference guide. And then 2 other books that I use a lot. Now, these are mostly for summer gardens, but they do have a little bit of fall gardening stuff in here too. Like especially this one. Now, this one's specific to the Northeast, but they do other regions as well, vegetable gardening in the Northeast, and enjoy year-round harvest. So it does some year-round stuff in here. It basically, each month, it tells you this is what you plant, and this is what you do. It's kind of like a checklist each month, which is why I like this one. Hi, Mary Catherine. Someone new. The only thing with this book, though, is I also have this book, which we've had for several years, and we use this one a lot. This is Week by Week Vegetable Gardens Handbook. It's the same thing. You pick your frost dates, and then it tells you, let's pick one. So I know what my date is, and it says last frost 2 weeks after. Yeah, this is 2 weeks after last frost. This is what you need to do. It'll say 8 weeks before first frost or last frost or whatever. Then you need to do this. So it's customizable, which is why I like this one, where this one's supposed to be strictly for the Northeast. Problem is, there's been certain things that these 2 books don't agree on. So I'm like, well, somebody's wrong. I just don't know who. So you kind of have to like do a little bit of extra research, but I like these because I need a list. I need a schedule. I don't know how most of you guys do it. Maybe everybody else is like that too, but I've seen people, they just know, And I don't remember every month what I'm supposed to do. So thank you. I like this because it gives me a to-do list. I like to-do lists. I don't know. Our garden was pretty bad. Fermented Hempstead said it's hard to imagine yours could have been worse than mine. We're book crazy here. Don't give me any more of these because I feel bad eating these on camera. They're crunchy. I've actually been updating my library database on my phone. Basically, I scan the book. It pulls all the information, when it was published, who the author is, a picture for most of them. There's a couple that I have that are old. It doesn't have that information. But then I'll know what books I have. So when we're at TSC and I'm like, oh, I want this book, I can find out whether I already have it, because I probably do. How much my library is worth. And it's good for, like in February when we had that fire, if our house had burnt down, I have a database log. Oh, Jesus. My flashlight was on. Of books to give the insurance company. So then I can get that stuff reimbursed. So it's good to have a database of your books. If you have not seen the video, there is a video in our feed somewhere. I mean, it was done this year. It wouldn't be hard to find, where we review it and show you how to use the library app. So Arkansas said he's glad he got to hang out with us tonight, even the turd herder. Yeah, I think people missed having Donald on here. I feel like I'm a little boring and I talk a little too much. So he kind of breaks up the monotone.
By not talking.
Well, by picking on me, maybe. I don't know.
Come on, I'll pick on you.
Whatever.
You want another banana chip?
No, leave me alone. Mary Catherine said she just ordered some hard nut garlic to plant this fall. You know, I tried doing garlic. When was that? When did I do that garlic? 2 or 3 years ago. It did not do well, but I really want to do garlic this year. And I think around here we have to plant them in October. There's a garden company in Pennsylvania that I'm thinking about utilizing to order from. I met them at the Mother Earth News Fair here in Pennsylvania a couple years ago. And they have what's called black garlic, which I had never heard of. And it's black. But they also had garlic ice cream. I don't know if you guys have ever had garlic ice cream. People, when I tell this to people, that like, this sounds disgusting. I guarantee you it's probably, I want to say it was some of the best ice cream I've ever had. I don't know what it is. The sweetness with the garlic, the savory is so good. It's so worth it. Keto with Jess says, I really enjoy old homesteading farming books. I do too. I love old books. We have a couple herb books that are really old. I think they're over there. But I have a couple herb books that are like old manuscripts from the 1500s of what they used to say about herbs back then. And a lot of them are still accurate. Like back then, what did they call it? It was borage. And it makes men
happy.
It's an herb. The way they describe it, and some of they even talk about it in Old English, it makes men happy. And borage is a natural antidepressant. So I was like, well, that's kind of cool. North Star Prepsteaders in here. Hey, Kathy. Quebec Homestead. Oh, yeah. I see Quebec in here. So she was live not too long ago when I was on her thing. I keep forgetting that Rolling Hills tagged us in a video that we got to do.
What is it?
I think it's like garden status video. We have to do it. I'm going to try to do it. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
Oh, it's easy. Our garden status.
Our garden status is...
We grow a lot of insects.
We grow a lot of insects?
Insects.
Black garlic is ridiculously longer process. That's why it's so expensive. Yeah, that's the thing. It's very expensive. And honestly, I was thinking we were out when he was out. Rolling Homestead Wild Edibles. Yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, I could do that. I did some filming the other day. I just got to finish putting some stuff together. So what happened with our garden essentially is that Sunset Hasta asked where we're located. We are in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So it's about 9 miles over the Maryland border, pretty much right on the Mason-Dixon line. And I grew up in Maryland, so where I'm at now is very similar, but he's from Texas. So up here is very different than what he's used to. But as far as our garden goes, the problem with our property here is that we have a 17-foot well, and that's it. Like, that's our water source for the entire year. We do have a stream out back, which is one of the reasons I bought the property, because I wanted a natural water source that would be available in times of crisis. So, you know, it's a decent stream. I mean, we get a lot of runoff from the road, but other than that, and Pennsylvania had the worst drought, what did they say, since 1999 this year. And I mean, it was bad. We were able to water once from the garden. We can only water once from the garden during a drought. After that, and it happened this year, if I start watering more than that, the well will start to dry up, and it starts to spit in the faucet, and we need the water for the animals and for us. So the stream out back, we have a submersible pump that we stick into the stream. So we can technically pump water out of the stream. Well, then that started to go dry because, again, it's the worst drought since 1999. And then we have 2 rain barrels by the garden, which we are going to expand on this year. And then those went dry. So it's like, well, we have no water source unless we literally go out and buy like pool water, like delivery type stuff. So
one of the things we're going to have to do is just dig a bigger well or a deeper well.
Yeah. The problem with digging a deeper well, and it's just because it's this property, is the house was built in 1949, and I guess the regulations were obviously different back then. The well is literally at the corner of the house. Like, part of it's underneath the house. So how do you dig a deeper well and do that kind of construction that close to the house?
Do another well.
Yeah. So we have to do another well. The issue with that is our neighbor built behind us. And in order to get his well, they had to blast because there's so much rocks here in what do they say?
Atlantic-ish area.
Well, there's definitely more rocks here than there were in Maryland where I grew up. So I don't know what it is with Gettysburg or like the Susquehanna area, but there's we got huge boulders in our yard, like massive huge boulders. So digging a well will probably require blasting too.
Which cost them what? 10,000?
10,000 at least, maybe more to blast. So there's all these little hurdles to get a better well. So one of the things that we're planning to do, and I will address comments here in a second, is we have to figure out rainwater catchment. Like, that has to be a huge project for this winter. And that and the greenhouse are top 2 that we're going to focus on this winter. I actually have a resource I forgot to tell you, that I might be able to get the big square clear plastic bins with the steel frames around them.
They're like 250 gallon.
Yeah.
Totes.
Ben Wank, the guy that I played guitar with, have played at open mics with.
Wake Farms, whatever.
Wankville.
Yeah.
He owns Twin Springs Farms, I think. He owns a cidery, Plowman Cider. He's a very big name around here. Well, apparently he gets those a lot for something. I don't know if they use it for processing something. So I'm going to talk to him about getting one because Scott from Peary got his barrel. He's got one from them.
Oh.
So I might have a resource for those big square plastic bins. Oh, I see his way Hempstead's in here. Let me catch my comments real quick. They're talking about borage being an aphrodisiac. Slugs were Patty's #1 crop this spring. Yeah. Did you guys see, for those of you on my Facebook, that worm killer that I posted about?
Hammerhead worm.
I had never heard of that before, and I saw that, and I'm like, that's a very 2020 thing. That's great. Perfect. Quebec Homestead was dealing with blight. It's a bad year for gardens. And his way Homestead's in the middle of installing a new dishwasher. So what else am I missing? Have to run, but good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, Kathy. I appreciate it. I need to get a new dishwasher. I think our dishwasher went up a year ago, at least. I've not bothered to replace it because I've spent $50 on it used, and we already had to buy a washing machine. Our dryer went up. We went through 2 dryers this year, and we decided we have not had a dryer since February. Once we had that fire in February, we just bought a clothesline and actually dried my clothes indoors last night with, I bought an indoor drying rack and put a fan on it. I mean, it took a lot longer, but I don't even want to mess with the dryer anymore. Like after the fire, I was done.
And that clothesline's been pretty cool. The
clothesline's been awesome. I don't know how we're going to do in the winter, but we have a wood stove and we have the indoor drying rack. So I think we'll be okay. We just might have to pre-plan a little better that we're not all trying to do laundry at the same time. Because we can fit most of it on the line outside, but not on this one little rack inside. Tinker's wife said her pole beans collapsed with the smoke here. So she's out in like Portland, Oregon area.
Oh, okay.
So they're getting hit with all that fire right now. I had a friend who lives in Sacramento. I don't know whether his parents were in Sacramento, but his parents' home is gone. It's completely burnt out. So Sean Harbaugh.
Oh, right.
Yeah. What else am I missing? Oh, these here. Yeah, I actually have not checked to see what our power bill is. We actually, and this, because I used to be a huge financial nerd. I'm trying to get back into it. There's a website out there that lets you see which states allow you to choose your source for electricity and gas. Pennsylvania allows you to do both. Some states don't allow you to choose it. I think Kentucky was one. I want to say Tennessee, you can choose your own gas company, but you can't choose your own electric. But Pennsylvania allows you to do both. So what we've done, and honestly, this is why there's so many reasons I love living in Pennsylvania, is there's a site called PA Power Switch. And what I do is every month or 3 months, depending on what I get, is I go in there and I shop around for electricity providers. So some of them will be a month contract, most are 3 months. So every 3 months I do this, I switch to another provider. Right now we're at 0.03 cents per kilowatt. The standard for MedEd, which is the electric provider around here, is 0.8 or 0.08. So it's, I'm trying to think, is that right?
I have no idea.
I think it's 0.8 or something, and we got 0.3, so we got less.
0.3 or 0.03?
It's one of the two. I want to say it's 0.03 because it's like 3 cents per kilowatt versus 8 cents per kilowatt. And it has, I have dropped our electricity bill by half at the very least by doing that. So that's been helping a lot with our our electric bill. Usually I get 0.5, like 5 cents per kilowatt. So the fact that we just dropped it, I don't know if we're saving or not because the numbers change depending on what's the cheapest available. So maybe I'll put out I don't think it's good for a video, but maybe I could put out like a blog post about how you can shop around for electricity and maybe save you guys some money on electricity. You just have to be diligent about switching because that's the introductory rate. And I always get a contract it's no contract, let's put it that way, and it's no cancellation fee. So I'm not getting hit with any fees by canceling and switching to someone else every 3 months is what I'm getting at. Can kids be my gas company because they are full of GAD? Do I want to know what that means? What's GAD?
I wonder if it meant to be gas.
Gas? Oh, okay.
Because the S is right next to B.
Right. I'm going to show the new people in this cool thing I got. I know a lot of the homesteaders have been getting them from Two Family, but this is the one we got. And you can see our updated logo here. We added microbes. See our little microbe? And rabbits, because we are about to butcher some rabbits. We've been raising rabbits forever. I just don't really talk about it. It's not like it's not our biggest thing that we do here, but we're getting.
Really what your dad does.
Well, yeah. I mean, we actually have a police officer that's buying a bunch of rabbit meat from us, which is kind of cool, but we'll still have plenty for us. So we're going to get back into rabbit breeding, I think. And I mean, I like meat. Rabbit back meat is awesome.
It's good and they're quick.
Mm-hmm.
They're quick
fried rabbit. Oh,
yeah, they're quick turnaround. One doe, on average, gives you 36 rabbits a year.
Yeah, you just have to know how to butcher them. And we have friends that we teach workshops on how to do small game butchering. So I've done workshops on rabbit butchering, chicken butchering, turkey butchering. And my friends have been, for the most part, willing to try it, but they do it once and like, no, we're good. So, but I love learning how to butcher, like I've been doing that type of butchering since I was a kid, but I want to do like, I've never done hog butchering. I would love to do that. I've never butchered a cow. I'd like to try that. But Natural NC says they can't shop around there. I think she was referencing
The electric.
the electric, yeah. Quebec says the first real frost is coming on Monday there. Someone else posted, I think it was in Colorado, they're already getting snow. How much do we sell our rabbit meat for? I want to say we sell for
$80.
No, it used to be $6 a rabbit. I think that's up to $10 a rabbit is what we sell. But Dad's cheaper than most. So like he used to sell eggs for $1 a dozen and then $2 a dozen. And when we took over, we upped it to $3. And we sell out all the time. We're out now. Oh, actually, no, you just put 4 more out, 5 more out. So we're constantly running out of eggs. People will pay $3 for local eggs. Sean in Alaska is here and says he's been known to butcher songs. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Big Bear says they are stuck there, but he has something. Is that the thing you were talking about the other day, the show thing, Jason? $1 billion. We are not allowed to seek them dead. It's illegal here. We have to sell them living. Oh, sell them dead. Oh, wow. Yeah,
Where's that at?
She's in Quebec.
Quebec? Damn.
Honestly, I don't know what the laws here are for selling rabbit. I don't think that we're supposed to sell to the public without some form of USDA thing. But if you sell a lot of the things in Pennsylvania, if you sell it as not for human consumption, people buy it.
Well, no, a lot of people will buy them for dogs.
But yeah, they'll buy them for dogs. But like over at Family Cow, which is this Mennonite farm where we get our raw milk, they sell goat's milk, but it's labeled not for human consumption. But that's their get around for it. People still buy it and consume it as people. So,
but for them, they sell it as this. So we sell it as dog food.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, people eat it. So,
well, we don't.
I assume the police officer is buying it to eat.
Where's that? Plausible deniability.
Well, we'll tell him it's for his dog. Yes. Big Bear says that show thing. You know, the thing you were talking about on Marco. I don't know if I want to say it because I don't know if it's like a big secret.
Yeah, you're calling them out.
You know what? Eat a banana chip.
No. Ugh. Ew.
Cow's milk and honey. The one thing I like about we were talking, Donald and I were talking. Get that away from me.
You want one, buddy?
Don't give him banana chips.
Why?
Because he's bad. He's been pulling stuff off the counters.
Because I haven't been giving him banana chips.
Ugh. We were talking about if we could move anywhere in the country that we wanted, where would we want to go? Like, I love the idea of moving to somewhere out west, like Montana or Wyoming or somewhere near Yellowstone or something like that. But honestly, you look at the laws, like Montana doesn't allow the sale of raw milk. The gun laws out there aren't as good as Pennsylvania. And this is weird. This may sound weird, but I honestly like the structure of homes here in the Northeast better than anywhere else in the country. Not that I've been everywhere, but I've been to Texas and Arkansas. I've been to Illinois. I've been to Indianapolis. I had family in Alabama even. So I would visit there. I've been to Mississippi. And there's nothing quite like the homes in the early 1800s or late 1700s before people started migrating out west.
Like Dutch homes.
Dutch homes?
Like Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah, Pennsylvania Dutch. But even before that, like the settlers. Like there's a lot of really old homes here. The structure of how homes are built in this area are just gorgeous. Now, I've been to other places other than Texarkana. So it's not just Texarkana. I doubt Houston has homes anything like the Northeast.
Who's talking crap?
I'm Misty. She still doesn't think that you're a real Texan, even though you were born in Houston. So honestly, Pennsylvania, when I think about the history here, the Constitution was ratified here. The gun laws, it took me $20 and an application to get my permit to carry. It allows raw milk. It is more expensive, but the homes are gorgeous. They're beautiful old stone farm homes and barns, and the history is just rich enough here that we kind of decided we think we want to stay here. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'll still explore other places, but when we were looking around at laws and stuff, even the homestead laws, I'm like, I just kind of want to stay in Pennsylvania. It's a really nice state. I don't know why people don't think of, Pennsylvania as a good homesteading state, because it kind of is, in my opinion. Yeah, Pennsylvania is open carry. You have to have a license to conceal carry. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Pete's Little Homestead's here. What am I missing up on?
And just for Misty.
Just for Misty?
I've lived all over Texas.
Yeah.
Not just.
He was born in Houston. His mom lived in Odessa, so Northwest Texas.
Yeah. I was there with her.
Well, yeah, yeah. Dallas, Texarkana. So he's lived all over the state.
Probably 15 different cities in Texas.
Oh.
What?
Jason said he was trying to talk Robin into moving to Pennsylvania, but nope. Big Bear says, here in Georgia, any meat for humans had to be USDA here except chickens, and we have a small amount. Oh, okay.
That's another thing we have here, the cottage laws.
Well, every state has some form of cottage laws, but some are more strict than others. So I know we looked at the cottage laws at some point, because what were we thinking about selling?
Well, I know for baked goods.
Oh, yeah, we were thinking about selling baked goods.
I know for here, we don't need to be USDA inspected. We only need to be PA inspected.
Mm-hmm.
If we sell from the farm less than 1,000 chickens a year.
Right. Which is nice. Very flexible in that way. Pete's Little Homestead says, I need to be kind because you're tired to you. He says, I need to be kind to you because you're tired.
You need to be kind to me?
Yeah.
I agree.
Big Bear says the trapping laws in PA are decent also. I haven't looked at those because we don't do a lot of trapping. Well,
he does a lot of trapping.
He's like the predator.
Yeah. The
predator pro. The only trapping we do is when they go after our animals.
The only trapping I do is her.
Did you hear that? Let's see what else am I catching up on.
That's what I said.
Mama Z says she was born in Abilene. Some really cool homes out there.
That's the only place I haven't gone is the Panhandle.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So Odessa was the closest that I've been to the Panhandle.
Plus the PA accent is sexy. Do we have an accent in Pennsylvania? I was born and raised in Maryland, so if I have any kind of accent, it would be.
It'd be funny
Maryland.
If I have a PA accent and not a Texan accent.
Well, you definitely don't have a Texan accent. I told you that when we started dating.
I knew that when I lived in Texas.
Yeah. Now his mom does.
My mom.
And then your mom says the Texas stuff. The video? If you ever look on YouTube for shit Southern women say, that's stuff his mom says.
Every one of them. She calls them. What does she call Walmart? The Walmarts.
The Walmart.
You go into the Walmarts?
When girls, you understand this. So when you drop stuff down your shirt, she calls that titty litter. I rolled when I heard that one. Titty litter. And then we went to dinner with his mom one night in Texarkana, and I had never heard anybody say this, and I saw it in the shit Southern women say video, and I was like, there's no way that women say that. And all of a sudden she pushes her plate away from her and she's like, I'm full as a tick. And I just started rolling. I was like, oh my God, they do say this.
When I look at her, I was like, I told you. I told you she said it.
Oh, Jason says the Marine Corps was born in PA. PA, y'all, PA is pretty awesome. Now, we do have a couple weird things going on right now. Like our governor's, I'm not going to get into politics, but our governor is Democratic, and there's like a whole big fight because Pennsylvania is very rural, and there's this whole fight about how they handled the illness and stuff. But I don't play into any of that, so whatever. Mama Z says that's a new one to the titty litter.
No. Now she is definitely. My mother's definitely Texan.
Your mom's definitely Texan. I would say most of your like your mom and grandmother, maybe your uncles. I don't know about your sisters though. I don't see them very Texan.
No, they're more
They're more Dallas, and I don't know that I consider Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, no,
to be honest,
that's the two things. Like Fort Worth, Dallas area, the metropolitan. It's not really Texan because it's a big, huge city.
Right.
So it's a lot of people just mingled together.
Yeah.
I would probably even go and say Houston, maybe like that too.
Yeah, Houston used to be like the big city in Texas until like Dallas and.
I think, well, Houston is still, I think.
It's still a big city.
I think Dallas is just past it.
Yeah. So yeah, Dallas got bigger, and then was it Austin that's growing?
Austin is
largely
one of them. I think that Austin is the #1 city in Texas. I think that's growing. Didn't we go outside?
Do you need to move, buddy? Are we in your way? Sorry. Court's done with this live, by the way. He said, "Screw you guys." My family run deep in Philly, and Robin's run deep in Pittsburgh. Honestly, those are the only two cities that, I mean, there's a lot of history. Like Philly, I've never been. We've driven through it. We went to Atlantic City for our wedding anniversary a couple years ago because a friend was running a gaming convention out that way. But I've never been there. I want to go visit and see some of the historical sites and maybe look at some bookshops and stuff. But there's so much history in Philadelphia. Honestly. Mama Z says Houston is still the biggest city.
Is it? Okay.
She says they don't claim Dallas. Well, there's a whole show about Dallas, Texas. You can't not claim it in Texas. And I think they actually rebooted that show, didn't they, Dallas? Yeah. Oh. JR. I remember somebody in my family watched it. It might have been my mom's mom or something.
Well, no, a lot of people watch it because they like Patrick Duffy.
Yeah. I like Austin because Austin sounds like Austin and San Antonio sound very colorful. Mm-hmm. We're very gay friendly. I know Austin is very gay friendly town. San Antonio has a lot of history from what it sounds like. So we actually want to take, what would we say, 2 weeks and just do a whole loop around Texas. I've already got like my pins saved on where I want to go, but I don't want to go to that many big touristy areas. There's some that I do, but like I want to do the Riverwalk. Is that San Antonio? Yeah, I'd like to do that. But the rest of it, I want to see the small town bits of Texas. So we've got some ideas of where we want to do a tour, I guess. Papa Z says, "Hey, I'm from the Dallas area."
We don't claim you.
Sean says, the greatest thing in the world is when the Texans played their first preseason game and beat the Cowboys. Aren't you a Cowboys fan?
Me?
Yeah.
Well,
we're not really sports people.
I wasn't really sports people, but growing up, I don't know if Misty can account for this, but growing up in Texas, or at least Northeast Texas with my family, it was very old school. Like during, say, Thanksgiving, for instance, all the men were in the living room watching football. And when I say all, I mean all of the men were in the living room watching football, like 20 men. And then 20 women were in the kitchen cooking and gossiping. And then little kids were just running around. But
we
that's
had
all they watched was Cowboys.
We had a similar thing in Maryland, but it wasn't watching sports. Although my grandfather, I don't know if you guys can see that picture with actually pull it off the wall. I'll show it. My grandfather used to play for the Orioles. This was his recruitment. Yeah, it is dusty. This is his recruitment photo. That's the recruiter, and that's my grandfather. And that's 7 baseballs in his hand. And that's one of the reasons why they recruited him. He had very large hands. He was a pitcher. So a lot of our stuff, he would watch baseball. But when the uncles and all came over, they would play pitch, like cards. It was we were a big card playing family. And then the women would be in the living room gossiping or cooking. And then the kids they'd throw us outside. We're in the basement where they didn't have to put up with us. So, but it was similar to that, I guess. Quebec Homestead says she has to head out. Harvest season is kicking her butts. Yeah, us too. Thank you, Keto Homestead with Jess. I appreciate you stopping by. Another thing I wanted to talk about, and I think I saved the link in my clipboard for this, is I'm going to be opening up launching a new shop this week. Oh, nope, it's not going to. I'll just type it.
I'm excited about it.
Because
I'm going to buy like every shirt.
So I'm going to be launching this week. It is an online, it's a t-shirt shop, but it's not just t-shirts. I've got phone covers on there, and it's all like geek stuff, like the Mandalorian, Star Wars stuff. If anybody's watching Cobra Kai, I've got Cobra Kai themed t-shirts on there. You can buy it now if you guys feel like it, but I'm setting up like the social media and doing a little bit of search engine optimization on the site before I launch it this week. And I'm just going to constantly be adding designs to it. It's something that's giving me a creative outlet. So a lot of nerd stuff. Like I've been watching the movie Hackers from the 90s. I don't know if you guys ever watched that. I put some Hackers themed t-shirts on there that I designed. So
did you get any quotes from The Boys?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if anybody watches The Boys.
Sure.
It's on Amazon Prime. And the theme of it is there's these superheroes that are sort of like Superman and Wonder Woman and all of those.
They're franchised.
They're franchised, but they're evil. Most of them are evil. Like evil superheroes. Like, what are you going to do against evil superheroes that are fine with just killing people? So that's the whole premise behind the show. So there's quotes from the show that I want to put on there, but the show is so raunchy. We love the show, but I do have one or two themed. I don't know if you guys watched this season that's come up. There was one quote, and it doesn't give away anything in the show, so I try not to do that. But it says that the Pippi Longstocking quote. Like Pippi would bite off the D.
Even Pippi would bite off.
Pippi would bite off.
Would bite
the D. So I made a T-shirt with that theme on it because, girl power. You just go bite off the D.
Be like Pippi.
Be like Pippi was one. So there are boys themed T-shirts. I got to find some new quotes. I'm tempted to watch season 1 and 2 again and see if I can find something else to make a T-shirt of. But there is one on there. That one's I only put in women's sizes. I can't imagine guys wanting to buy that shirt. So anyway, there's some Halloween stuff that I'm going to be putting out. There's a couple on there already for Halloween. But I want to hit the Halloween crowd, and then I'm going to really hit the holiday season shopping crowd. There's D&D stuff if you're into Dungeons and Dragons. There's I don't remember. Oh, there were other stuff, other things. I put like 60 or so items on there right now. Thank you, Mary Catherine, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. But yeah, there'll be constantly new products on there. So check them out. If you guys have ideas for stuff, let me know. One of the things that I think I'm going to do for the shop is if you have an idea for a T-shirt that you want, and it's one that I feel like would also sell to other people, and I put it in the shop, whoever gives me the idea for that T-shirt that I use in the shop, I'm going to give a coupon for like 20% off. So there will be the ability to have user-generated content on there too, which I like, because it helps me come up with ideas, and you get a discount, and I make it for you. Like, there's a Gettysburg shirt that someone wanted that I might stick on there too. But yeah, we're going to start wrapping things up soon. For those that joined kind of late, I wanted to show the books again that we're starting to plant our winter garden. I think we're going to plant a lot of stuff for the winter garden, but it's going to be like
wintery stuff.
Like we're going to plant kale,
lots of greens,
chard, spinach. We're going to plant turnips, some root vegetables,
and root vegetables.
Onions and things like that. But this is one of the books that we use for all types of gardening, not just winter stuff, because
year-round gardening.
It's for year-round gardening, because it's customizable per your zone. This is one that's specific to the Northeast, but they have like other regional books with the same company. It's just this is obviously ours, but it's also got year-round tips and things to plant. And then this guy, 𝙒𝙑𝙀, if you guys aren't familiar with, he is like the winter harvest garden master that everybody loves. So I always recommend his books. He's from Maine. So, I mean, it's not our most northern state, but it's
That's close, isn't it?
well, you've got Alaska. We've got Sean in here.
We don't claim them.
Alaska. Actually, Sean, do you guys plant anything? Can you plant anything in Alaska in the winter? Like, is that even a thing up there? Like, I would imagine maybe in a greenhouse or something. Oh, you have one from the Northwest? Yeah, I was wondering if they had all the regions yet or what, but we actually got this from one of our local farmer markets. We got this at 𝙎𝙬𝙊𝙖. But it's got charts too. I love charts. Planting and harvesting charts. Only in greenhouses in Alaska. Asparagus will survive and berries too. Awesome. I think if we were to sum up what we got out of the garden this year, we got some tomatoes. Not a lot, not enough to do any
snacks.
We got some snacks. Not enough to do any kind of canning. We've got beans. The beans are actually doing pretty decent still. We might actually harvest some beans tomorrow. We did get a lot of zucchini in June, and then the drought hit, and now you can't even find the zucchini plants. And they're so overrun with weeds because once we decided that we weren't going to mess with the garden anymore,
the weed said, okay.
The weed said, we'll take over. We got this. The publisher, where is the publisher? Where would that be? It is, I'll find it for you. We got, I think our sweet potatoes are doing great. Timber press. We planted sweet potatoes up here near the house though, in the front where they get lots of sun. So they seem to be doing really good. What else did we get? None of the melons at all. I don't think any of the potatoes. None of the peppers. I did get some herbs, some basil, rosemary, thyme. Just does amazing here. I have tons of thyme.
So this is your UK company.
We got kale and collards, but they're so eaten. It's like, is it worth harvesting these, or should we just let the bugs eat them? So I might see if there's any that are salvageable tomorrow when we go in, but honestly, I'm not that worried about it at this point in time. It is September. What we did notice when we walked, I mean, some of the beans are taller than me. Let's just put it that, or not beans, the weeds, is there's so many bees. We walked through the garden and it was like its own ecosystem. So if nothing else, I think what we're taking away from it is if you have a poor garden, you're creating a good ecosystem, if nothing else. Like the gardens that we're used to are us controlling the ecosystem. And technically it could be a poor ecosystem for things like bees and things like that. If we're only focusing on things that we want to harvest and not the flowers and the things like that. But honestly,
lots of wasps, lots of spiders.
There was tons of bugs. So if nothing else, we created a garden ecosystem for the local insects. And that's honestly fine with me. So it's never a failure as long as you have life in the garden, even if it's not life that you can eat. So that's the way I look at it.
Look at you. I like that.
I'm pretty smart on occasion. I'm just saying. Maybe I can make that a t-shirt in my shop. Actually, we do have a t-shirt on our Teespring shop. If someone wants to post the link to that, one of my moderators, I might actually migrate some of the Teespring stuff to the Freaky Cloths and do a gardening section. But it's a t-shirt I like because it's specifically for Copper Kettle Farms that says life begins with microbes, I think. Or the garden begins with microbes. I forget. But that would be a good t-shirt. We're very big into microbes here. As far as like, we could do a quick update on your composting. I think we're taking all the compost that we've gotten this year and just putting it on the new winter garden. We're dumping some of it into where we're going to expand the garden next year.
I know the system itself, I've got to redesign it because it's on a slope.
Yeah.
So the rain just takes everything with it.
Yeah.
So I've got to level it out.
It piles up on our
on the electric
fence too. So, well, if someone else can copy the link, if not, that's fine. But yeah, on our Teespring we have at least one Copper Kettle shirt, but I do need to get some more Copper Kettle shirts up for those that want one. Yeah, that's Court. He's our not farm dog. He's kind of a wuss.
You a wuss?
He's a wuss, except if people try to break in the house, he will tear you up.
Oh, I feel sorry for someone trying to break into our house.
Yeah, well, it's weird for me. I don't understand how dogs know this, but Court, when we have friends over, he is docile. Well, docile as far as being protective. Like he's excited that people are here. He loves my friends. He'll jump in their lap. He is fine with them coming in the house, but somehow he knows when someone is a stranger, and he's very aggressive. So I don't know how he knows this, but a fish is in loaves lives. Hello. Even if you create grubs to feed to your chickens or to go fishing with it, it's a win too, right? So there's no such thing as a garden failure. There's only a
success,
different outcome than what you intended. We did decide, because I'm constantly barefoot and walking, we had done the entire pathway of our garden in wood chips. And we actually put a layer of wood chips on top of our beds too, to help maintain moisture, which is something that we have to do here because of what we discussed with our water issues earlier. But we've been using a little bit more hay, and hay is a lot easier for me to walk on. And honestly, we feel like it might do better against weeds.
Mm-hmm.
And it breaks down faster, I think, right?
Yeah, it breaks down faster.
So we're actually thinking about replacing all of the wood chips in the garden with hay because it's easier on my feet.
At least on the path.
Yeah. Good night, Tinker's wife. Thank you for stopping by. So yeah, at least on the pathway. I mean, we might still put wood chips. We get wood chips for free here in the township. The hay we have to pay for, but it's cheap. It's like $2 a bale. So maybe wood chips on the garden for the plants, and then hay on the pathways for my feet. So that's a change that we're going to be doing next year. Now, the potato towers. I don't know if Jason's still here. So the potato towers, we've learned we're not going to do the potato towers again. It was a lot of work, and it requires a lot of water. We did not have good water this year, so they did not survive. We might have one plant out of all those barrels that we put up that survived of the white potatoes. Sweet potatoes were fine. We got tons of them.
Yeah, for the amount of work that's required.
It was not worth it,
and the amount of water because.
And we'll put out a video about that too.
But the main thing was because it's so open.
Mm-hmm.
It needs like 3 times the amount of water than it normally would have in the ground.
Right. The ground wasn't there to protect it from the heat and the sun, so it dried up faster. Now, somewhere in Georgia, where Big Bear Homestead is, where they got a lot of rain this year, it would probably do great.
Yeah.
And of course, somewhere that you have like an apartment building and you want potatoes and you just have that one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, you did.
Oh, this is awful. If you do 1, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But we did 6.
And we were going to do more than 6.
We were going to do a whole.
We were going to do like 9. I'm glad we didn't. But it was not worth it. I don't suggest it unless you have a good water source and you don't have the ability to put potatoes in the ground. The potato towers did not work for us. It was too hot and too droughty. So we'll put out a video about that, but it just did not work. So there were a lot of failures this year, but it was a lot of good learning experiences. And we've been wanting to increase our rain barrel situation for a while. I think this year really pushed us that this needs to happen this winter and actually this fall. I think we've got plenty of barrels that he got from work for free. So we're just going to hook them up and get it sorted. But anyway, I think we're about at our time to 10. I know it's a Sunday night, so a lot of people are ready for work tomorrow. We're actually off tomorrow. We're off on Sundays and Mondays. So we will try to get some filming done, and we got to pick up some hay tomorrow for the goats anyway. Someone did ask about the hay. If it is that organic hay? I don't think his is
I honestly
organic.
don't know.
It's probably not.
Well, the hay that we get, he sells orchard grass and mulch hay. And we were buying the orchard grass, which was $4 a bale, but our goats eat the mulch hay before they even touch the orchard grass.
Yeah.
So we just started buying mulch hay.
Now, Drops Family Garden said try sinking the barrels into the ground about 2/3 down. We could do that, but it's still a lot of work, and we have tons of rocks here in Gettysburg.
Well, also our soil is clay soil.
And our soil is clay soil.
Like we tried doing that with just the posts for the fencing, and it took
I think I have video and footage of how bad the clay is.
Yeah, it's
there. So we're actually trying to build the garden up with soil, because water sits so bad when we have water.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to where water penetrates it more.
Yeah. So it's a lot of experimenting, but there's always next year, I guess.
Yeah. Now next year I'm just gonna do a row.
Now fishes and loaves. This may be something useful. She says hay can have long-lasting grazon, grazon, that can kill a whole garden and make your soil toxic to many plants. So we'll look into that because that's good information to know. Drops Family Garden says plant radishes in the ground next year and let them rot over the winter. That'd be a good idea. Yeah. We had a lot of like weed grass that came up, and I don't know if you guys saw in our last, it's either the last video or the video before of the actual videos, not lives. We showed you how we take a lot of the weed grass that grows in the garden and what do you call it when you crunched it down? Crimping, so that it would die off and rot in the ground. And that actually worked really well. Like that, a lot of that did not come back. It just kind of just sat there and rotted, which was nice. It was like mimicking cows or something.
This is mimicking not cows, but animals trampling.
Yeah. So that's something we're trying this year too, to get more stuff in the ground, which the radishes would be a really good addition to that. Fishes and Loaves says it is a broadleaf weed herbicide that can go right through cows too. I mean, I can talk to Roland tomorrow and see if he sprays, but I don't think he sprays. I'll talk to him just to see. I really don't think he does, but I'll find out. That's a good thing for me to ask. Thank you for pointing that out. I'll ask him. Cover crop it. We actually tried to. What did we plant for cover crop on that one side? Clover and something else.
Ryegrass.
We planted clover and ryegrass, and how much of it came up?
Well, I think it got attacked by
some of it got
local wildlife.
Well, yeah, some of it got eaten.
I don't think any of it.
But none of it came. It was, and I don't know if it's like we put mulch over there, and I'm thinking maybe that was part of the issue. It was too mulchy for the seeds.
No.
I think so.
I mean, some of it should have came up.
Yeah, none of it came up. We did both clover and ryegrass over there this year. And we bought, I mean, it was a big thing of ryegrass. I was pissed. You know what we did get though? Pokeberries. Freaking pokeberries everywhere in the garden. They're not even useful. Like maybe if I wanted to dye yarn or something.
And I ain't eating no damn pokeberry salad.
Well, they say you can. It's just you have to do certain things.
Well, I know they say you can. That's why I said I'm not gonna.
They plant, Brett and Cindy says they plant turnip greens, mustard greens for cover crop and to eat also. Yeah, that's what I would like to do. I think some good rooty things like that, or at least the turnips.
Well, I was hoping the ryegrass so that the roots would help break up the soil. Yeah. And add more organic matter to it.
But we'll try again because honestly, we're going to try to fence in the whole garden. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it by next year though with the cost of wood.
Well, I'm going to do it with those other ones that are only $5.
So if we can do that, we're thinking about putting the goats over there for a while as well, planting some stuff that they can eat. And I think ryegrass and clover were both things that they could eat. So let the gardens or the goats kind of help out over there. Poop on it, eat stuff, trample it, whatever. No problem. A couple of gardeners got hit mostly with manure and then yards of compost for the gardens, and they traced it to the pesticide. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll double check on that. Collard greens, yeah. We use a lot of collard greens in stews when we were growing it. So yeah, I'll double check tomorrow when we're going to do a pickup truck of hay tomorrow. So thank you for that. And it was grazing. Remember that. We remember that for tomorrow. So radishes in the ground. I'll try that. Turnips, turnip greens, collard greens. So yeah, that might be some good stuff to try next year in that space. Now, are you guys doing anything specific for winter gardening this year? Because we're kind of looking through the books to decide what we want to plant, but I'm probably going to do stuff that we eat normally, which would be chard and a lot of leafy greens. I have to eat more leafy greens because right now my blood is too thin and it has been for like a month and a half, almost 2 months. So I got to eat some more greens, stuff like that. But We'll also plant onions and things like that. Onions, garlics, greens. Yeah. Garlic's definitely something I want to try this year that we don't usually get. Fish and Live says, Grazin is one name for the type of herbicide. Our winter is similar to a mixture of your spring and fall. Okay. Dee's doing more kale this year. Yeah, we'll probably do some kale. I don't eat a lot of kale. The only time I've ever had kale and liked it is it was cooked with a lot of bacon.
So you probably had bacon with
a side
flavor.
of kale. With a side of kale. And I think I could eat it in like a smoothie. I think every time I've just had it, I've never cooked it myself. It just wasn't good because people didn't cook it right. If it's too tough, then I'm not going to like it, I guess. I don't know. I'll try. I'm always willing to try food that I don't like, again, in a different way. Unless it's beets. Although I will say I've had beets in a juice before and it wasn't that bad.
Bears, beets.
Battlestar Galactica. Read the quote. Liked it raw when it was small in the garden. Kale and eggs, yeah. I suspect I would like young kale more than I would like some of the bigger, tougher kale. And we've grown all kinds, like Russian red kale and dinosaur kale and all that. Like we can grow kale. We just don't like to eat kale. So Seminole pumpkin and tomatoes can go in with a month of within a month of each other, but all of the rain is getting in the way of any prep and sowing. Yeah. Honestly, I wish we had some more rain. We actually got some rain after the hurricanes and stuff, but so our well is okay right now, but we're just not watering. We got a little bit of rain today. We're thinking about planning out focusing mostly on herbs next year. We'll still do some vegetables, but I think our property, with how dry it is and how much sun it gets, I think herbs would do better. So we'll probably put a lot more focus on those. I think there's never been an herb here that has not done well. Lavender is the only one I can think of, and I don't even really think it's the lavender because the one under the clothesline is doing really well. So
I think just the sort of.
Yeah. So the soil here is just not good, but we're working on it, and it's actually getting a lot better. Some of the soil that we saw where we have been working the last couple of years is so nice. But is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, they were good.
You good? What about you, Court? Oh, he's so cute. Look at that big baby with his little spots on his belly. Yeah, I don't know if it's you guys or maybe it's Mississippi or somewhere's getting hit with another storm on Tuesday. Somebody's getting hit down there. I feel so bad for the Broussards. I mean, they got hit so bad, and all the people in Louisiana, they got hit really bad. Court, what are you doing?
That's a pee-pee.
What is this?
Him drooling.
Ew, it's nasty. What is wrong with you? Hurricanes keep dipping under us. Yeah. There's another thing I like about Pennsylvania. We don't get tornadoes hardly at all. I've never seen one in my life. It's not that they never happen. It's not often at all, and we don't get hurricanes. So, another thing I like about Pennsylvania. Now, I would say that one thing that is negative about Pennsylvania was 3 Mile Island is not that far from here. So, but they've shut it down. So there's that, I guess. Nuclear plants.
The future.
Right. That's the other thing that we want to focus on at some point. I don't know that it'll happen this winter, but I want to figure out a way to, no, not nuclear, wind power. We would do well with wind power. We got a lot of wind here.
Yeah.
But it's just because we're kind of like in a gulch. So the wind just, whoo.
We have 7 mile-an-hour winds.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. I really enjoyed being on the live. We are going to try to stick to this time slot for now until Donald's schedule changes. It's all based on his schedule. Mine is very flexible. So Sunday nights at 9 Eastern. There may be times where I play guitar. I'm sorry I didn't play any tonight. But and as long as we're not tired, like if we did a lot of work that day, we're probably not going to be on. But we'll, follow us on Facebook. Copper Kettle Farms on Facebook, Copper Kettle Farms on Twitter and Instagram. We're very active on those for the most part. So, and you can always message us there because I'm literally on the internet all the time. Like, I think even when I sleep, I must be on the internet or something. Fishes and Love says her best friend Staffordshire loved her family and her friends, but darn if the mailman, right? Court goes flipping crazy with the UPS man, anybody that beeps their horn, anybody that crosses the double yellow line and hits those little rivets, or the mailman, he's like psycho.
Trash man.
Drops says if you get lots of wind, go for a 48 VDC system. Ooh, I might have to bug you about that because I know nothing about wind power. So we're going to be researching this from scratch, but I think we would do really well with that here. Eventually we will get solar too, but right now we have to get a new roof, which may be a thing coming soon because I have a friend that owns a roofing company and he thinks that they can get it covered by insurance. So if we can get a new roof, then I might look into getting solar at some point too. So we'll see. Belle loses her crap when she hears a squirrel fart in the woods.
I didn't know squirrels fart.
Fish's Loaf says this time slot is not actually a bad one for them, so they might be visiting us more too. That would be awesome. Yeah, Thursday just went like it was fine doing it by myself, but I think you guys probably missed Donald. And then more people kept doing the same time slot, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done. So. Now, I was going to ask why people, like there are people that put them externally, the solar panels versus the roof. Like what's the different beneficials between the two? Because we're only on an acre and a little over an acre and a quarter. We could put them out front because it's full sun, south facing house, and be fine with it. Although we get people that crash in front of the house a lot. It's weird. Our house is like a crash magnet. At least once a year, someone's having an accident in front of our house. Either they're running into a rock or they've ran into our pecan trees or they've just knocked out our mailbox. So I worry about them hitting the solar panels. Although we could technically put them down by the garden, but then we'd run out of garden space.
So roof.
That's the only issue. It's the spacing. You have to remove them when you have to replace the roof. Yeah. Well, if we replace the roof now.
And then add them. It's 20 years.
I mean, that's at least 20 years, right? So that might be a good compromise is we're putting a new roof on anyway. And when we do that, putting the solar panels up. I've always wanted one of those green roofs too. I don't know if you've ever seen this where they actually plant, like you would have to have access to get there, but there's people that put vegetables, like they cover the entire roof. I think I saw it on some show that's about green living and they just had a nice little walkway through their roof. And they were out in the middle of nowhere. You could not see the house from up above because it just looked like greenage. But it helped absorb the sun. It turned it into vegetables. And I was like, I would love to have that if I could. But we can't. So solar it is. It'd be nice if I was rich enough to afford the Tesla solar tiles. Like get one of those. They look like the terracotta shingles. But it's actual. Oh, actually, they do have shingles too. They have shingles too, yeah. And get those as a roof. But then you got to have money, and I don't have that. So, what's that new apple? We did plant a new apple tree. That's interesting, right?
Yep.
What was that?
Honeycrisp.
We've got a Honeycrisp apple now. So we have like a Zest Star, a Honeycrisp.
I want to say a Golden Delicious.
I don't remember.
Wasn't a Red Delicious.
We didn't get any peaches this year. We haven't got any apples yet, but they're only like 2 years old. We got 3 peaches last year out of 15 that developed because they all fell. So I don't know. We'll get peaches at some point.
We got plums.
Fishes and Loaves says those crazy PA backroads drivers, they complain about Florida, but my goodness, they zip around those whirly roads where deer could pop out at any moment. They really do. But Maryland drivers are worse. Maryland drivers are worse. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We're gonna.
You want to say bye?
Court, you want to come say bye? Come say bye to everybody.
Where, buddy?
He says, now I want to go out and pee. Anyway.
I'm going to come out.
All right. So we'll see you guys next week, possibly. And don't forget the 28th, we'll be on Two Families Live for an interview. And they send us this quote. Like, if you guys don't know, they are selling these kind of things for homesteaders. So if you want your logo on a cool thing, then that would be a good thing. That would be a good thing to support them by doing, is getting some swag for your homestead through Two Family. So see you guys next week. Take care. Hit end stream.